coin series has a reputation for being hard to learn and hard to play. A Gest for Robin Hood is GMT's attempt to simplify the system. Do they succeed? Is this a coin game for you? We're going to answer that here today on Legendary Tactics.
Before we begin, we should mention that a Gest of Robin Hood was a review copy sent to us by GMT Games, so we want to thank them for that.
Yes, absolutely. And so what I like about this game so far, and admittedly I've played 1 or 2 games of it, I'm still new to it.
Right.
But this has all the stuff that you like about coin games. So if you're a player who has played coin in the past, you're going to enjoy this, I think. But if you're new to coin, which is I think their mission here, it's a great introduction to the game. So I'm going to just go over a little bit of how the game works, just so you have a kind of a first look at...
First blush of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the starting board position, right,
This
Nato?
is the starting board position, although the merry men may be variably placed, I guess you could say.
Okay, yeah, they're randomly spotted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the merry men are face down when hidden, and they are sort of more, they're revealed.
They can be revealed, okay.
And one of the merry men, you can't see it probably on the camera, it's too small, but it says RH for Robin Hood. So there is a Robin Hood character in the game who has kind of some special abilities, and these silver triangle things are henchmen of the sheriff. Okay. If you remember, if you know anything about coin games, each territory typically is either pro-government or anti-government. Here we have they're either they're submissive or they're in revolt.
In revolt, okay.
And it's one or the other. Yep. There's no gradation there at all. And so each player takes their turn, and you can either take a what they call a single plot, like a single action in a single space.
So this is the recreation of the coin, reimagined
grid,
coin.
Right?
Yeah, grid,
So
right.
You can take the event, or you can do plots and deeds, which is both what used to be called
Op and special.
Ops and special activities, right? So
okay.
The special activities are, they have the usual ones like recruit and move and attack and sweep and that sort of thing. They're called different things.
And that's on these boards. We each have our own boards there, right? So we have plots versus deeds.
Yeah, so it has all of the...
And the sheriff has hire, patrol, and capture.
Yep.
Its deeds would be ride, confiscate, and disperse.
Yes. And Robin Hood has recruit, sneak, and rob, and their special ones are turncoat, donate, swashbuckle, and inspire.
Oh, swashbuckle.
Yes,
I like that one. That's great.
And, and it's interesting because when they made this game, if you think about it, Robin Hood was a kind of insurgent in a way,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Disrupting the order, trying to take down the government, right? Or disrupt the government. And the sheriff is that force of order, law and order, that's trying to impose their will upon the population.
Right.
So
the government faction, so to speak, right?
The theme is totally in line with the coin series, counterinsurgency series. But what I like about this is everyone knows Robin Hood.
Right.
They know the stories.
Right. It's endearing away, right?
Exactly. And they love the stories already, so it's a natural fit. It's not, when Robin Hood robs from the rich, it's like, well, yeah, that's how the story goes. So of course that's going to be a mechanic in the game, right? And if the sheriff is a total jerk and is oppressing the people, that's
what exactly the way it works,
right?
Yep.
So we have event cards as well
which are different.
Yeah, they're different.
Okay.
They have the same idea where you have one event that's better for Robin Hood, one that's better for the sheriff. But some of the actions are really neat. My favorite is actually the rob action, where you can rob carriages that the sheriff sends around, or you can rob a random traveler, which might defend themselves successfully against you or might not. But when you rob someone, you have a choice of kind of robbing them more nicely or being a total jerk,
right?
And
really,
totally ripping them off, really fleecing them. And it has that kind of, you get a better benefit in the short term, but it can cost you in the long term.
Right.
So I thought that was a really neat change. They have more traditional kind of money, which
shillings, I believe,
shillings, yes, which most coin games just track resources on a track.
Right.
But here you've actually got little coins and so forth.
Is this a push-pull scale here?
This is the victory point track, and it's push-pull. And if by the time you get to what they call royal inspection, which in this game is the propaganda card,
right?
If it's far enough along the track, you can
in the
win
grayed out sections.
Yeah,
right.
And I think one of the big strengths of this game is that this deck only takes about 45 minutes to an hour to get through once you know what you're doing.
So it can go snappy.
It plays pretty quick.
Can I ask about the screens?
Yes.
We have these screens, and this is also new to coin for me. I've not seen
and that's
a coin
because
screen.
this involves actual bluffing. You don't want the other player to know how much money you have,
right?
How many pieces you have maybe left, or which ones are back there, or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And there's various bluffing that happens through the game, not only with the Robin Hood piece, but also with the sheriffs. They can they can steal money from the county or whatever, or the region, and then send those carriages around to try and get to Nottingham without being robbed by Robin Hood along the way. Okay. And if they make it, then they have a big reward. So yeah. So but you got to bluff. Some of those carriages are actually traps. So if you can trick Robin Hood into attacking the one which has a trap in it, they may go. Which
again goes along with the storyline.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
The footprint is really small.
Yeah. It's not a big game. The rules are fairly short as far as these things go. It even includes a learn to play booklet on how to teach the game to non-coin players.
Oh, wow.
So you can see where they're going. And it's funny because this is actually volume 2 of the series, which they call the Irregular Conflict Series. And the first game in the series, I can't pronounce the name. It's a word from India, and it starts with a V, but I can't pronounce it. I can't remember it. But this was the first that I'd heard of it, and so I thought this is a really neat idea. I've actually played it with my son, who's 13. And did he pick it up? Yeah, he picked it up. Wow. He actually won. I didn't know what I was doing as a sheriff, but levers, he won. Right? Yeah, and we had fun, and he enjoyed it, and we were talking about it even days later. So,
well, that kind of leads to my question as far as your thoughts on accessibility for this coin game compared to the other coin games. Is it going to be?
Yeah, so I think this would be a great place to start if you want to introduce coin to people. Better than Cuba Libre.
Really?
Not only for the complexity level, but this is 2-player. So you can sit down one-on-one and teach them. Cuba Libre, obviously, you're best played it with 4 players.
Right.
And best played with 4 players who know what they're doing.
Right.
This one, you can sit down, you can have a learning game just one-on-one, get them into the system, and if they like it, then you can move to, say, Cuba Libre with some other people. So I think I like this. They're doing this with Twilight Struggle as well, where they're coming out with Conflict in the Horn of Africa.
Like the little Lunchbox series.
Yeah, the Lunchbox series. Yep. So they're trying to make these games more accessible to the general population. I think it's a really good thing. We need to grow our hobby, and this is one of the games that I think could do it.
Right. Well, I am really looking forward to getting this on the table with you.
Yes.
And then doing more of a deeper dive review of this game once we have a few plays of it. So
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a good impression or first impression of a Gest of Robin Hood, and we thank you for watching.
In the meantime, don't forget to get out there,
get gaming,
and be legendary.